Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing an interesting poem titled Bat. It is written by D.H. Lawrence. It is a poem in free verse. And this poem first appeared in 1923 in a collection of poems called Birds, Beasts and Flowers. True to its title, the collection of the poem, in which Bat is one of the poems inside, is largely consists of poems that center around specific flora and fauna while exploring broader themes. So in this sense, Bat is an exemplary piece from this volume of poems. So we are going to be discussing it stanza by stanza. And let's move to stanza 1 of the poem. So look at the stanza 1. The stanza 1, let's read it and discuss it. At evening, sitting on this terrace, when the sun from the west, beyond Pisha, beyond the mountain of Carrara, depart and the world is taken by surprise. So in this first stanza of the poem, the tone is peaceful and serene. The speaker sits on an Italian terrace looking west, and the sun set over the mountain of Carrara, making the end of the daylight. So the final line hints at a change in tone, suggesting that a surprise is coming. Now let's look at the second stanza. When the tired flower of Florence is in gloom, beneath the glowing brand he is surrounding. So in the second stanza, look at it very well. The speaker notes that he is in Florence, which he likens to a waiting flower. The flower is in gloom and surrounded by brown hills. Now in stanza 3, when under the arches of the Ponte Vecchio, a green light entered against stream flows from the west against the current of obscure Arno. So in this stanza 3, the light begins to change and the speaker starts paying closer attention to the sky. To the speaker's eye, the changing light appears to move as though swimming against the current of the nearby river Arno under the Ponte Vecchio. It's a famous Florentine bridge. Okay, now let's move to stanza 4 and look at stanza 4 here. Look up and you see things flying between the day and the night. Swallows with spools of dark thread, sewing the shadows together. So in this stanza 4, the speaker begins to notice creatures in flight, initially assuming them to be swallows flying above in the dusk. So the speaker observes that they looks like they are sewing the shadows together with a giant pool of thread. But are they really swallows? Let's move to the next stanza. We'll know more about it. A psycho sweep and a quick parabola under the bridge arches, where light pushes through, a sudden turning upon itself of a thing in the air, a deep to the water. So in this stanza 5, watching the creatures flying, the speaker note the deftness, the skill of their movement against the background of the Ponte Vecchio's architecture. So the cycle and pivot swimming down into the river and back up again, moving up and again. Now let's look at the 6th stanza. And you think the swallows are flying so late. Now the speaker puzzles over why the swallows are flying so much late than usual. Okay. Now in stanza 7, swallows, dark air like looping, yet missing the puzzle loop, a twitch, a twitter, and elastic shudder in flight. Now look at this stanza, which read just swallows. Swallows is just the 7th stanza. Okay. The speaker uneasily answered the question raised a moment before. The birds are probably flying so late because they are not birds at all. Now look at Stanza 8. Dark air life looping, yet missing the pure loop. A twitch, a twitter, and elastic shoulder in flight. Now, the speaker described the creature as dark air life, no longer sweeping in gentle arcs or graceful parabolas. The creatures above twitch, twitter, and shudder. The speaker begins to focus on the more menacing element of their anatomy. Their wings are serrated. Like a knife, their ungainly bodies resemble graceless black glove flung haphazardly into the air to obscure the flight. Now look at it, and serrated wing against the sky, like a glove, a black glove, thrown up at the light and falling back. Now look at the next stanza. Never swallows, but the swallows are gone. Now in this stanza, the reluctant speaker finally acknowledges what he is seeing above, not swallows but bats. Okay? They are bats. And that shows interesting. Now look at the next stanza, which is stanza 10. At a wavering instant, the swallows gave way to bats by the pointed vehicle. Changing guard, bats and an uneasy creeping in one's cap as the bats sweep overhead, flying madly. And look at it. So, in this stanza, the speaker experience of the creature above shifts. There's a shift in opinion and perspective now. In an instant, the transition from bird to bat, a changing of the figurative guard set against the dramatic backdrop of the Ponte Vecchio. Okay? Now look at the next stanza. Pipistrello, black piper on an infinitesimal pipe. Little lumps that fly in air and have voices, indefinite, wildly vindictive. Now, in this stanza, the speaker encroaching peer is amplified. In the 11th stanza, as he begins to experience physical manifestation of anxiety, he experiences an uncertain sensation in his scalp as he observes the bat flying madly and sweeping threatening over his head. Okay? Now, wings. Look at the next stanza. Wings like bat of umbrella bat. Creatures that hang themselves up like an old rag to sleep and disgustingly upside down. So, in this stanza 12, he began to talk about the bat again, and he begins with the exclamation, Pispiro, and this is the Italian word for bat, and it punctuates the speaker's frustration and surprise. With this state, the speaker described the bat shape and sound through further metaphor, a piper playing a pipe, a little one flying through the sky with a deliberate vindictive voice. So the speaker likened the bat wing to the edge of an umbrella, where the spokes stick out of the fabric. Now, in the next stanza, hanging upside down like rows of disgusting old rag and grinding in their sleep, but not for me. So, the speaker, just one word, yet again repeat the speaker now, shout, but. So, the speaker explains in this stanza that bat hang upside down to sleep like disgusting old rag. In the next stanza, in this stanza now, fixating on the imagery of hanging old rag, the speaker imagines that the bat are pleased with themselves, grinding as they hang upside down. So the last stanza admits that the speaker views are not universal. In China, the speaker admits that bat is considered symbol of happiness. But the final stanza, the speaker dismisses this opinion and say, bat, not for me. So you can see the kind of hatred the speaker has for bat and why bat are not his friend. And this is the summary of the poem Bat, where the poet accused the mosquito of harming humans, and then the mosquito in this poem is bat, and then it changes hanging upside down. Now also look at the second paragraph. I have explained it stanza by stanza. I just write this summary so that you can also read it and have more understanding or deeper understanding of the analysis of the poem. But so in our next lesson, we are going to be discussing the themes in the poem. The themes in the poem Bat by D.H. Lawrence. So have a good day and click the notification bell. Subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when the new video on the themes in the poem is uploaded. Thank you and have a good day. Okay.